Good morning, Rebels, and welcome back to my life. Quick shout out to Cassie Bazis. Bazis? I'm gonna go with Bazis. Cassie Bazis. If I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, I'm sorry. If I'm pronouncing your first name wrong, you need to change the spelling because that is very clearly Cassie. I met Cassie at Starbucks on Saturday for my first ever, real world, real life meeting a rebel experience. It was very cool. Well, let's talk about the topic of this video, journalistic integrity. Now, the reason that we're talking about this is because this has become a byword of Gamergaters. Yes, I'm talking about Gamergate again. We all thought we were done with it. We're not. We're not because it's still happening, and in some ways it has escalated, like people making bomb threats and threatening massacres at schools where Anita Sarkeesian was going to speak. Not okay. Now, I will just point out, because I know many Gamergaters will be quick to jump into the comments, that those actions do not represent the majority of the Gamergate movement. That is fanaticism at its most ridiculous, and that's why this video is not titled Gamergaters and Their Threats to Bomb Everything in the World. But I want to talk about this concept of journalistic integrity, because according to Gamergaters who have interacted with me on this channel, on my previous videos on this, some of them cordially and courteously, thank you very much, some of them not so much, F you very much. The movement isn't about women in gaming, it's about journalistic integrity. Now that sounds fantastic, and we all want journalistic integrity, right? Well, the movement didn't start with journalistic integrity. There's actually some people who have gone back and researched the beginning of the movement. There's a link to that research in the description. It is not about journalistic integrity. It started as an attempt to ruin somebody's life. That somebody was Zoe Quinn, the woman who was accused of sleeping with game journalists for favorable press. Now, the problem is that if the movement were actually about journalistic integrity, then the journalists that she supposedly slept with for favorable reviews would be the ones being attacked, not Zoe herself, because Zoe is not a journalist. She's a developer. If you want journalistic integrity, go for the integrity of the journalists. This seems simple. So if it were really about journalistic integrity, people would be pointing to the articles that these journalists wrote about Zoe's game in which they praised it and saying, see, this is journalistic unintegrity, out integrity, something. But that's not what's happening, and it's not happening for two reasons. But the second reason is what all the Gamergaters complain about, so let's ignore that and go for the first reason, which is that those articles do not exist. There's another guy who has made a whole, YouTube career for himself out of disproving everything that Anita Sarkeesian has said on her Feminist Frequency channel, including stuff that she said on other social media platforms, like when she said that she was threatened and called the police. That was apparently disproven with a call to the police station that she would supposedly have called, where the police station said, no, we don't have that call on record. That turns out not to be true. Not that they don't have the call on record, they don't, but they don't keep all their calls on record. But Anita was hooked up with the FBI, and they have it very clearly on record when they were hooked up with her, because if the FBI steps in, it's probably fairly serious. And the rest of the stuff on this anti-Anita Sarkeesian YouTube channel is all a bunch of clips of things that she said, taken out of context, and then lampooned by this guy over and over again, proving what a dishonest liar she is. Your first clue should be that that is the exact format of The Daily Show, which, while a very entertaining show, claims itself over and over again, we are not an actual news show. This is not actual fact-finding or proof. This is entertainment. So whenever you see somebody taking a bunch of clips of somebody else out of context and then commenting on them for, some sort of entertainment reaction from you, even if that reaction is just, yeah, what a bitch, you should be very leery of anything that person says being taken as truth. Do your own research, because if you go and look at all of the clips that he references in context, it doesn't seem so freaking insane.